There we go. We're going to go live. Technology is hard, y'all. Technology is real hard sometimes.
Is it though? Is it?
I had a what was it? ID10T. ID10T problem right there, guys.
ID10T.
Thank you. Welcome and all to Total Spotfest. I'm going to blame the heat on that one. It's causing things to break down. I hit the wrong button. I accidentally stopped the stream. So you get 2 streams tonight. Yeah. We are coming back with a full complement. Welcome back, Austin Reddick, to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
He's right here.
I'm back from summer
Actually, it's the
vacation.
other way. There you go.
I don't know. I'm just
He's down below
Somewhere
here.
around here.
It's like when you watch YouTube videos and people always say I'll put a link to it, and they always do they don't know which one it is. You would think after a matter of time you would learn raise your left or your right hand, right? You know,
Yeah.
But
And aren't those always edited in post anyway? So
Yes.
like you can put the link wherever you want.
yeah.
and it's not. I'm not talking like just some random Joe Schmo YouTube. Like decent sized people do this for a living channels. You think that they would think this hand, not this hand, whatever.
That's
I'm
why you
JJ.
just do the. I'll put the link down below, and then you always got it right because it's just underneath.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to Total Spotfest. I'm JJ. That's Jamie. As I said, Austin Reddick has joined us. He's been on vacation. Him and the wife have been out wandering the nation of ours. He has got the baby stash going again. Got the summer cut on. We've all been there. We had to do ice. This is technically still my summer cut, so I trimmed it down at the beginning of summer. It just I know
year-round cut. Right there, guys.
Well,
the mustache is still on summer vacation, but it'll be back.
You got this. See, Austin's got us both beats.
He's like,
He's got both sides. Fantastic.
Both
Both
in it,
sides,
so there's a
bro,
chance.
there's a reason I'm always wearing a hat. I got nothing coming up top.
Oh, that's
There you
right.
go.
Oh, I forget. Yeah. So,
I got product in it, guys.
yeah. I do too. It's
There
called
we go.
shaving cream.
Whatever.
So funny story. So, I buy a lot of my like toiletries at Costco because it ends up being like stupid cheaper, right? Yes, I got like 4 giant jugs of mouthwash, but it'll last me like a year and a half or something stupid like that, right? So last time I was at Costco, I needed to get more shaving gel because just got a little bit left in my can. And this old guy that was there looks at me and goes, he just couldn't understand why somebody like me, he goes, don't get rid of that. I go, no. There's this.
Top half guy. Top half guy.
Yeah.
Hello, Clint.
Hello. Well, it's
Sorry, I
great.
didn't play last night. I took my daughters to academy and then I fell asleep because I suck.
Well, that happens.
Which, by the way, Austin, you and your lovely wife, who has the vocabulary of a virgin, you guys need to get Helldivers too, and then you can play with us.
What kind of a game is that? Is that like a shooter?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a
amazing.
third-person shooter that's kind of hard. It's kind of Souls-like, honestly. If you don't know what you're doing, you will get your taint handed to you.
It's
And,
a co-op.
Yeah,
game,
like the very first time. So, fun fact: the very first time Clint and I ever played, and we were on his map, and it's like, hey, let's drop right here, and literally, it's like this big red spot. It's like that's a bad spot because red equals the enemy activity, right? Boom, and then like there's all these alien bugs because it's like Starship Troopers just everywhere, just hammering us, and like we killed each other like 3 times, and it was the funniest shit of all time because we're like, what's going on? But
See,
yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
You lost me at shooter. Like, I always get my ass handed to me at shooters because I can't aim.
Oh,
Well, it's not an FPS.
fire.
It's not an FPS shooter. It's not like Call of Duty or anything like that. So
And you
it's
lock
third
on to
person.
targets. Like, if there's a target lock on, that usually helps.
yeah.
there's target lock, and you have weapons upgrades galore.
I'll look into it. There's a new Final Fantasy 14 online expansion that drops on Friday, and I also just started playing Skyrim on the Switch, so my game time is pretty well consumed, but I will look into it.
I'm making a decent.
I'm buying time until Silent Hill 2 hits. I mean, I'm just being real, guys.
Are you
Like,
100% tabling Erdtree? Shout out to the Erdtree.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I don't have the time nor the patience level right now because I'm mid softball season.
Well, they've also nerfed it a
well
little
did.
bit. Speaking of patience, by the way, finally they had a patch today because even the devs were like, "Yeah, we made it too hard."
Oh yeah, I was watching this one guy. He literally had to fight one boss, and he had a counter up 117 times.
I was watching a streamer last night that got to this sunflower, and it was the most ridiculous fight I've seen in a FromSoft Souls game. That is saying a lot.
Which
I
one
want
was
to play
it?
Shadow of the Erdtree, but I still need to
It was
beat
a
Elden
sunflower
Ring.
monster.
Oh.
I got like 75% of the way through Elden Ring, and then just got busy.
Yeah, go back and enjoy Elden Ring. Elden Ring's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
The end's
Elden
great.
Ring was one of the best games I played in a long time. I remember we were playing Elden Ring, but then like a few months after that, Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and I jumped right on that, and then that took up a ton of time. So like, they gotta stop releasing all these good games so close to each other.
You play games that are 3-digit hour games.
Bro, Baldur's Gate 3, we restarted that so many times because you can do it's basically a live action Dungeons and Dragons game. So like every time you restart, you can play a new class, you can make different choices and stuff. We've probably sunk like well over 100 hours in that game, and we haven't even made to Act 3 yet because we just keep playing different builds.
Oh wow.
Definitely got our money's worth. It's a phenomenal game.
That's the important part. You gotta enjoy it. I mean, I'm not a Baldur's Gate fan. I try to get into it, just not my shtick. I do enjoy watching Souls games. Playing not so much because I'm not that good.
Oh, dude. I love me a Souls game. Like at first I hated them, and then I replayed Bloodborne, and I finally beat Bloodborne. I was like, okay. So then I went on to Demon Souls, and then I did Dark Souls. And Dark Souls can eat a dick. I don't like it, but Elden Ring,
Demon Souls. Interesting. Most people hate Demon Souls.
No, Demon Souls is fine. I mean, it was easier. Like, I hate to say it, it was the easiest out. Okay, so if we want to talk about the hardest of hard,
we'll talk about
Sekiro.
wrestling in a few minutes, guys. I promise.
Dude, have you guys played Sekiro?
Sekiro is.
No.
I'm not even going to try to play Sekiro. I am not that good enough to play Sekiro. I just 100% no. I will get so mad and frustrated. I will break something probably.
I'll put it this way. Basically, the entire time, you have your balls in a vice. And every time you die, they just get a little tighter. And a little tighter. And a little tighter. And it's like, then you like are so afraid to make a mistake, and the next thing you know, your balls have exploded.
Yep. It's 100% a parry combat game. You have to parry everything. And
Parry, thrust, good.
I'm more of an unga bunga when I'm in any sort of RPG fashion. I'm not a Dex or any of this bullshit. I'm just the big Leroy Jenkinsing it in this bitch.
Leroy.
But I will say this: I did put over 200 hours in Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. That's more my jam. I love that shit. So.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to Elden Ring because you have to dodge and parry and block and all those things. I like to just run at shit and swing a sword or an axe or any other blunt object.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I don't like playing defense, and I don't like video games to be hard. Life is hard. Video games should be easy.
See, I like the challenge. I like the mental challenge it gives you.
See, I'm somewhere in between, leaning more on Austin's side. I enjoy the game more. Although one of my favorite games is Hollow Knight, which the word easy never applied to anything in that game. So
I'm a big story mode guy.
Yeah.
Give me a story mode.
Yeah, same.
Let me run around feeling OP and just kill everything I need to, and I'll enjoy the story they've laid out for you instead of getting mad and throwing a controller against the wall. Because I get mad when I'm not doing well at games, and I don't need to do that. It's for my own mental health. Story mode.
So Clint and I, we were playing Division because we play that a lot, and we play on the high, like we play on the highest level of difficulty because we're sadists. And literally, we're in this one area, and we get to a certain point and we just die every time, and then restart because that's how that level does. Like, you know how you can die and spawn right back into where you were, like on different levels. This one's just like no. We literally are right before the end. Die. So I have to go all the way back. We did it like, I shit you not, like 10 times. And
brutal.
By the end, both of us are just like, actually I was. I'm like, can we just go run around, shoot something so I feel like I accomplished something? Because I just got the shit kicked out of me. And I'm a pretty good player at that game, and so is Clint. Like, we work amazingly.
Long run backs suck, but there's also an inverse to that. So I did a rerun back through before I got my Series X. I did a rerun through of the Halo series. I didn't actually finish 5. Like, I still got to go back and finish 5. But
why no one else did?
5's not that bad. It's fine. You know, Infinite's much better.
It's a PS5 joke, you know, you Xboxers.
I don't. The tribalism I don't get. It's just like, who cares? But so
we're wrestling fans. Of course we get tribalism.
I know. So anyway, so I'm doing a rerun through, and I was actually on on CE, right? So I was going in, and I don't play on like master. I play on like the medium difficulty is what I usually do. I like to be somewhat challenged, but not over the challenge. Depending on the game, I might step it up. If there's like a 5 level, I might go 4, right? But 3, 4, that's usually where I go, right? So I'm going through it, and I had this boss that I was going into where it did an autosave. Unfortunately, it autosaved me when I was at 10% health with almost no ammunition. And I'm like, do I redo a third of this game, or do I truck through and beat this boss? Basically,
that's a Final Fantasy feeling right there.
You know exactly when it does that auto save at the wrong time, and you're like, oh shit.
I mean, so Austin, you literally said Final Fantasy's coming out, so you know, like, you are not quite the right level you need to be for the end, and the last time you legit saved a spot was like 2.5 hours ago. That is the worst feeling.
All right,
that is not a good time at all.
Let's have a good time tonight. We're going to talk about a little wrestling. And there is a place where I know, unfortunately, I don't think Austin, you had not get a chance to partake, but we enjoyed having a good time watching wrestling here in Kansas City before the world was succumbed to deadly viruses that may or may not have come out of Wuhan, called Kansas Hall. It's where Journey Pro thrived. It was in its heyday. It had these fantastic shows, bar wrestling, great location, great crowds. We had, it was a good time. And then of course COVID happened, and Journey Pro came back and relaunched, and unfortunately, didn't make it. They did fold a while ago. We have had other wrestling promotions pop up in their time, but there's always been a Journey Pro sized hole in several of our hearts. Jamie and I talk about this, what can fill that hole? And it's not necessarily just because everybody that was in Journey Pro, we still see, right? We still see most everybody out there, right? And there's great promotions out there. Fountain City Pro coming up here in a few weeks is one of them. And if you haven't bought your tickets, Fountain City Pro, July 12th, Ball Event Center. It's going to be a great time. There was an announcement this past weekend when following some cryptic messages, and I was on a few text chains where one certain member of this day was trying to gather any information he could from anybody that would give it to them.
Hey, being an investigative reporter takes work, sir.
Yeah, we did not make it very far, but Monday morning we got the announcement via, well, it was basically Journey Pro's sister promotion, St. Louis Anarchy. St. Louis Anarchy is coming back to Kansas City. Show is being called Journey to Anarchy, the same name of their Twitch, same name of the first ever Journey Pro show, for those of you who are wondering. And it's going to happen at the exact same place that it used to. No longer named Kansas Hall. It's Guitars and Cadillacs or something stupid. Yeah, there we go. I got it. It's a country bar-ish thing. Whatever. The same exact place, October 29th. It's a Tuesday, but hey.
A little random,
but they were on Thursdays before. So who cares?
Love Thursday wrestling, man. Thursday wrestling was awesome.
Thursday was awesome. Tuesday is going to be fine. It's going to be great. A little weird, but coming back.
I'm excited. Like, that Journey Pro is honestly the epitome of my joy and my real experience in independent wrestling. Like, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be the fanboy of independent wrestling that I am now. I don't think, honestly, it wouldn't have given us Austin here, which I'm incredibly grateful for, obviously, which I think we're officially at the 1 year anniversary, guys. Like right around there. Need to check. It's been a while. Should have got you a gift.
Oh, really been a year?
I think so. We'll get you a 6-pack of Banquet.
Yeah.
Now you sound like Jamie's wife. It's only been that long. Jeez. It's only been 20 years.
Yeah, but no, I love Journey. I think this is great. I think this is a good thing for Kansas City once again, because we'll also get some different talent. I haven't seen much about CSW lately, so I don't even know what's going on with them. But obviously we know Fountain City's running here in a couple weeks, which is great. And the great thing about it too, I really want to call this out, Fountain City is celebrating the fact that this is happening, and the old school regionalized, you're in my territory crap is like passe. Like, if you're still like that, then clearly, you know, you love your cousins a little bit more than you really should.
You're also probably what?
No, if you're still like that, just run better shows, because indie wrestling fans will go to every good show that they can.
Exactly. Well said. But yeah, absolutely. So I'm appreciative that they are celebrating the fact that they're coming. That's kick-ass to me.
And St. Louis Anarchy's done a great promotion too. They're another one that survived through the pandemic and continued to truck along to this day. We've been to their shows. They're great shows. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
They love Anakin Murphy. Everybody sings his whole song. See, at an Anarchy show, they sing his entire MCR theme with him as he comes out. It's amazing for the emo in me. It's so good. All right.
I wasn't emo. I was Mo.
So what's been going on in Fed world lately, Jamie?
Well, the Fed has been pretty good. So this past Monday was a little different. We did not have Pat McAfee. They did a storyline saying that Uncle Howdy got him or whatever, but what really happened was his father-in-law passed away. So that was kind of a heart-wrenching thing to hear. But you know, you had Nikki come out with her garb and everything, giving out a VHS tape, which I really like, that little just on the nose thing. And they aired an interview of Bo Dallas, but it's not really Bo Dallas. And Bully Ray talked about it on Busted Open. I don't know if anybody's happened to listen or watch that.
I try to not listen to anything Bully Ray says, but go on.
I mean, that's fair. Because, I mean...
Stark opinions, that man.
From one dick to another, I appreciate his work. But no, he was just saying, like, that was definitely not Bo Dallas talking. It was, you could tell it was very much Taylor Rotunda talking about his brother and how, you know, they had all these plans and it just got ruined. And and things like that. And it was very emotional. It was very, very, very well done. Then on Tuesday you get Joe Hendry on NXT.
God bless Joe Hendry. I love that man so much.
I hated it at first.
Oh, I thought it was the stupidest thing the first time I saw it. I go, what is it's kind of like Super Troopers, like how I hated it the first time I saw it, and then it became one of my favorite things ever.
So Megan, aka JJ's daddy, she like we were going to practice or whatever. I go, I believe in Joe Hendry. And she just started going into, she's like, I hate you so much. That was stuck in my head.
Bury it, just dig it in there. Austin, you weren't here for the past couple weeks. What did you think of the Wyatt Six? You know, the whole Uncle Howdy stuff they've been doing.
Yeah, a couple different things on it. I thought the execution and the segment itself when they debuted in a vacuum was super fucking rad. Like, it was different. Mm-hmm. It was cool. But in a bigger picture, I have zero optimism that this isn't terrible within like 6 to 8 weeks.
That's a concern. Yep.
Like I said, that presentation itself, and I saw the Bo Dallas Uncle Howdy promo from Raw. That on its own was cool. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about the same company that ran The Fiend into the ground, that ran Bray Wyatt into the ground, that has dropped the ball on this exact gimmick with the super talented performer who came up with it and executed it time and time again. I'm not sure what you can do with this gimmick long term that fits in with the rest of the show and the universe you're building and the story you're telling. But enjoyable so far. Real cool, real different. It was kind of that shock value. I think as time goes on, the kind of nostalgia part of it's going to wear off a bit. And then you still have a stable of people you had literally nothing else to do with doing a gimmick that you couldn't book before because you kept booking yourself into corners and just making dumb decisions. So I'm not optimistic about it. Okay. But for what it was and for what it was worth for that time, it was super rad.
So I appreciate your hesitation to get excited about it because we are talking WWE. But you also have to remember, sir, this is a different WWE that ran The Fiend into the ground. It is though. It is though. All right.
This is the same WWE that 4 months ago was gonna make The Rock and Roman Reigns the main event of Mania and just blow over Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble. He was just gonna give it like the fans luckily turned them around on that, and they're gonna backtrack and say like, no, we were planning it and this. WWE cannot not be WWE no matter who's in charge. And you'll get some high points. You might not get the as low of lows as you got. I'm talking about, since we're speaking of The Fiend, when The Fiend and Seth Rollins had a Hell in a Cell match.
We don't talk about that match.
Twitter poll that was, how's it going to end? Fiend, Seth Rollins, DQ, and you had a million Twitter comments saying, absolutely do not do a disqualification in Hell in a Cell match. And then they disqualified Seth Rollins for continuing to beat up the guy that would not get pinned in a match where anything goes. They cannot help themselves. It might not get that bad, but they're still going to be WWE. This is the same company that, since we're talking about this week's Raw, is in the middle of a sexual harassment lawsuit and is just tying right into that on TV. They can't help themselves.
I mean, that was a little on the nose.
It was very on the nose.
And for what it's worth, they lost, removed themselves a handful of people. It's still the same company. It's still the same company no matter what.
I'm holding out hope, man. I'm holding out hope that they don't.
We shall see. Time will tell.
I'm gonna do what I do in life. I do in life. I expect the worst, but hope for the best. So if I get the worst, I am not disappointed. I know what to do. But if I get the best, then everything's all gravy.
So here's a question for you then, Jamie. What is the best with this group and this gimmick?
The best is Uncle Howdy is a champion here before too long. But that's gonna be a difficult ask. But my whole thing is I want them to be what the NWO was in the beginning, where they could show up at any time, any place, anywhere, just fuck people up, bounce, and then they also at that point would transcend belts, and they would never need a belt, which would be really cool too. Where they just go in there, just murder people and bounce, but they are like the biggest, hottest thing because you never know who they're going to attack. You never know when it's coming. It could happen multiple times in one night. Like, they could keep everybody on their toes. And I think if they keep that style of package where they mark somebody, like they have the Abigail, Sister Abigail, Nikki come out, mark somebody, and like that's the person, you've been marked, and they could run with that and stuff like that. Like there's all sorts of cool things that they could do with this where it would be successful.
On a somewhat short timeline, yes. But like you said, a champion. Are you going to put the world or universal title on a guy named Uncle Howdy?
Absolutely.
Who was played by a guy who you used to have in a tag team called the B Team with Curtis Axel because you had nothing else to do with him.
B Team, go, go, go.
And I am a fan of Bo Dallas. I loved NXT Bo Dallas. I love the B Team, but you're that guy's going to be your champion?
I believe, dude. I believe. Don't take this from me.
That guy's a better champion than Gunther.
What about the IC championship?
Not about who's better. We've known that forever. John Cena was the wrestling god for how long, and how many moves could he do? Like, let's be real.
How many moves did Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock do?
Exactly.
About 5. It's not not the moves though. It's you have presented this guy for the longest time. Like you fired him during the pandemic, I believe. Like,
yeah.
I get it, dude, but I'm just saying, like, all I'm saying is I'm holding out hope that they do this thing right.
Well, I mean,
and the thing is, they could leave and come back any time too. That's the beauty of this. Maybe put the tag team titles on the Rabbit and the Buzzard. Like, there you go.
And on Eric Rowan, another guy you fired more than once because you had nothing to do with him, doing this exact same gimmick, even.
Hey,
that's true.
Once again, your logic holds no weight in the WWE.
I like everybody in this group, but there's ceilings for all of them that have been clearly defined by this very company on what they see them doing.
And the thing is, you're not wrong, and you're very much right on this, Austin. I think that the big thing is that time definitely will tell, Jamie,
Mm-hmm.
The likelihood of it staying relevant is what my worry is. People today have short attention spans. I mean, hell, Swerve is getting less of a pop than he was 3 weeks ago for no reason. He's still super over. People still love him. But the Swerve on his chase to the championship, the Who's House Swerve houses were deafening. And now they're just kind of loud-ish, right? People are fickle. Consumers are fickle in this digital instant gratification world. Fickle! That was actually a really good gimmick. I really liked it.
It really was.
I really liked that gimmick, to be honest. So, if they can keep the fans' attention, that to me is all that's important. My worry is that people after about a couple months are going to be like, "Oh, that was fun. Let's see what else we got." Right?
I think the best case scenario and like the best way they could book this is if this whole thing leads to SummerSlam, we get Uncle Howdy versus LA Knight in the Mountain Dew Pitch Black Part 2 match.
Oh, SummerSlam.
all I want out of it.
SummerSlam. So this is the Baja Blast version, so they could put like teal lights up, man.
They've got like 18 flavors now. You could have a best of 7 of weird Mountain Dew gimmick matches. Just make them the Mountain Dew faction. Like they're plugging a sponsor every time, and I'm on board.
I tried the Mountain Dew Baja Blast hard seltzer. Okay, not. I won't call it good. I wouldn't call it terrible. It was really sweet. Really sweet, and it was okay. It was fine.
I had optimism. I haven't tried it yet. I have optimism for that because I've tried the Monster alcoholic seltzer beverages, and those are actually really good.
Oh,
the Mountain
Dew, your mileage may vary.
See, I'm not real big in like super sweet drinks in general since I stopped drinking. I mean, I have sweet tea that I drink, but it's liquid death sweet tea, so it's barely sweet, right? And then I'll drink like Gatorade Zero, stuff like that. Other than that, it's just water. And then anytime I drink alcohol, pretty much I'll have a beer, but mostly I'll just drink tequila and Topo Chico. So that's kind of the opposite of sweet. That's
why I like the Monster ones though, because the Monster ones are based off like they got an Ultra Zero one, which is like their sugar-free Monster.
Oh, the white one,
it's not too terribly sweet.
Yeah, the white can was pretty good. I didn't mind the white.
I love the white can, dude. The white can, the orange can.
When Jamie and I worked together, the previous job before the current company, they had the community fridge, and there was one spot in the vending machine that was constantly cleared out, and it was the white Monster spot. They could not keep that in stock, and I think I might have even been Jamie, but somebody no, I think it was actually, I don't remember who it was, but somebody had to go up to the vending machine guy when they caught him, like, hey, you fill this up every week. See this? Do 2 of these.
It still went. Still went.
So back.
That was great. Like they gave you free money. All right. Yeah. So let's talk a little AE dubs.
Well, before we get to AEW, we started the Fed talk. You mentioned Bully Ray and then Joe Hendry. I would like to bring up another ECW legend and current TNA roster member, but different ones.
Is this going to be? Okay. Is this going to be a little bit of knowledge that we have not received in several weeks?
A little bit of knowledge, and it's going to be the best kind, and it's the kind where I'm being kind of a hater.
Yes, it's my favorite.
So, for those of you that might have been on the Twitter machine today and keeping up with some things going on, TNA Knockouts champion and recent peeree in NXT, Jordan Grace, tweeted a picture of herself with the caption, "Beat me if you can, survive if I let you." To which ECW legend and AEW commentator Taz tweeted, "Swing and a miss. I've had that trademarked for whatever amount of time." And I wanted to take my little segment out of the show to talk about how absolutely stupid of a tagline that is, because Taz's opponents have a 100% survival rate. He has never killed anybody in the ring. They always survive. So if you're going to let them survive every single time, you do not need to say survive if I let you, because you're just going to let them every single time. Weird hill to die on, Taz. Also, if a current wrestler is using a trademark you had damn near 30 years ago, like, that's a cool nod to you. Don't be salty about it, please. That's my stash of knowledge for today. Little short and sweet, but I thought the same thing 30 years ago when it was relevant. Why does he always say survive if I let you if literally everybody survives? Even Sabu, whose neck he broke, survived.
So would you say Rey Mysterio is allowed to use this?
He would have a better claim than Taz.
Wow.
I mean,
pulling out Paraguayo Jr., but
that's an awkward way to end the stash knowledge. I just gotta say.
I was just saying, like, if somebody gets, like, do you get awarded this tagline because you killed somebody? Like,
that would be funny if Rey Mysterio chimed in on Twitter as being like, someone actually didn't survive wrestling me.
It would be even funnier if he just would hop back in the message train, the comment train, and just goes, dibs. All right, let's run away from this because we've gone from. Thank you for imparting some knowledge on us, Austin. But let's get to AEW, Jamie.
And for any of our fans out there who knew what I was talking about with Rey Mysterio, points for you.
Yes, you can Google it later if you really want.
So it was a go home, gentlemen, and again, they have gotten a lot better at their go homes. I would say the year of 2024, the year of our Lord, is excellent in their go homes thus far. Mm-hmm. I feel like they haven't missed yet. And this one is, of course, no different because, like, your main event, you had Will Ospreay and the current champion Swerve, and of course, you know how they open up the show, right? You know, they open it up with an absolute mega banger after they opened with MJF and the Daniel Garcia thing. And I thought that was excellent too. Like they started, like typically, you know, they like to start with a match, but they didn't this time, guys.
I mean, their goals have been much improved over the first couple years. Like we've talked about a lot, but the thing that stuck out to me about tonight probably the most was this is kind of your most typical what you expect in a go-home show, right? You had opponents who were going to be facing off. They're teaming up against each other, you know, going up on things. Those who are on the same side of the heel face coin. You had multi-person matches, right? Where there were components that were, you know, going to be in several different matches. The, Blackpool Combat Club was one of them, thinking about that. You had other matches that were setting up things, and the MJF stuff is like looking ahead for after the pay-per-view. What are you doing there for that build? So you start setting up some of that stuff. I feel like, and then they had some of the typical, you know, getting ready for our match talking smack bullshit things. So they had all like the check boxes for what you need to do on a go-home show, which they in the past didn't do so well. So that's kind of the point that stuck out to me the most.
Yeah, another great go-home show. I am both excited for Forbidden Door and just kind of over Forbidden Door at the same time. I feel like we are getting the same pay-per-view for a third year in a row. And there's diminishing returns because we basically get the same New Japan talent at every Forbidden Door. And now Okada and Ospreay are all elite. Like some of the biggest names you were bringing in for Forbidden Door, they're just here now. I would like to see this be the last one and them to come up with a new concept for next year and beyond. You could do just an AEW pay-per-view and still work some other talent in. But yeah, like I'm excited for the pay-per-view. It's going to be a good show, but it just seems like the same thing we've seen the previous 2 years.
I just had a light bulb moment. And it's something I know that's going to get Austin Reddick very titillated. Replace this typical Forbidden Door. And let's be honest. The door is always open. People are coming and going from all these promotions amongst each other, back and forth. I mean, shit. Toni sends people to Japan to work. Look at Megan Baines. He just sent her over there, you know. Jack Perry.
She's not signed with AEW, by the way.
Do what?
She's not signed with AEW.
She's no longer signed with AEW? She was.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I saw the report like a week ago or so that she's like a free agent now.
Right. Mm-hmm. She was signed with AEW. Yeah. Regardless, signed and they send over to Japan. Same diff, right? How about you do this? Instead of doing this for indoor, we do a pay-per-view that is a culmination of a tournament a la the Super J or something like that, right?
G1, dude. The
Call
G1
it G2
would be perfect.
But yeah, exactly. A variation on the G1, and you have your AEW pod, you have your New Japan pod, and you do the pay-per-view as the tournament, or the tournament as the pay-per-view.
Because they're doing the G1 stuff right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, can we not get a G1 match on this pay-per-view?
Oh, please.
Like, that's, if you're going to keep doing Forbidden Door, yeah, bring in some different concepts. Second year in a row, we are getting Bryan Danielson wrestling someone from New Japan in the Owen. I think it was. No, was he in the Owen last year?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Who did he?
He wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. last year.
He's supposed to do Sabre 2 years ago, and
now,
got hurt.
That one was good. Didn't somebody wrestle someone from New Japan as part of the Owen last year at Forbidden Door? I feel like
somebody wrestled Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like, we all know Danielson's going to win at Forbidden Door. Shingo's not sticking around for the rest of the summer to do the rest of the Owen. I would like to see, you're doing the G1 Climax anyway. Give me a G1 match with 2 New Japan guys on the show. Like, why does everything, if you're going to do Forbidden Door, give us stuff, like, give me 2 luchas from CMLL having a true lucha match on Forbidden Door. Give me some different stuff instead of just AEW guys wrestling the same luchas and New Japan show people you bring in all the time. Just change it up a little bit.
I'm with you.
I agree. I think the Forbidden Door thing, it was cool and hip, and now it's just kind of getting a little stale, to your point. Like, you have CMLL, you have USA and AEW, you have Japan and New Japan. Kumite. Make it a Kumite.
Okay.
Have no ring, no ring, whatever.
Okay.
And just have people from each side, and then you do a giant tournament, do a men's and a women's, and then you have it just stagger, and then you have the winners, and then the winners of it, depending on where they're from, get a title shot at their promotion or any of the promotions that were involved.
Or just put a giant ass check on the line.
That too.
Money always works.
As
Tony Khan can afford it.
A 7-foot tall trophy and a green strapped belt.
You get a life-size trophy of Satnam Singh if you win the New Japan AEW Kumite.
All right. So MJF, you talked about, started the show. Okay. Very interesting kind of the way that they're proceeding with MJF. And I want your guys' thoughts on this, right? So they're in Daniel Garcia's hometown, Buffalo. Daniel immediately interrupts him, right? They come out. And he says, I'm going to do something that no one has ever done. I'm going to say nice things about MJF. So he puts him over. MJF puts him over. And then he puts him in his place, Talk about, when I had that match with you, I did beat you like a dog, and all that jazz. And then the meat of the matter offers him a Daniel Garcia versus MJF match at All In. Enter Will Ospreay, who immediately offers the match to next week to Daniel Garcia. What are they doing with MJF and Ospreay? What are your thoughts on it? Let's go.
I think they're teasing it, but keeping them apart as long as they possibly can. And it seems to me, since MJF came back, they're kind of keeping him away from the top guys as much as possible. And this was something I kind of mentioned after he came back, is like, where does he fit into the current product with all the guys you've placed at the top? And it's kind of a booking issue, because MJF has only been presented as he gets to be the bad guy, but also gets cheered and also beats everybody for the last 2 years or so. What happens when you put him in the ring with a Will Ospreay or an Okada or a Swerve? I think they're trying to dodge that bullet as long as they can and not have to make that decision one way or the other, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think that's what they're doing.
That's a smart thing to do. Keep them away from each other. If you can do it till
Revolution,
maybe do it to World's End. Maybe at that point they start to finally get around each other. We have 6 months. There's no reason those guys should be there. There's no reason, because hopefully Will Ospreay will be walking out of Sunday as the champion, because I feel like Swerve's hands are about to get full starting Wednesday. I got a little spoiler, little news for you guys there. But yeah, no, I think the best thing you could do, just like old school WWE, have them around each other. Maybe they kind of intermingle a little bit, like where they give a cool little stare down and people get oohs and ahs, but they don't rumble for a long time. That low, long burn.
Well, and that's what I took away from this was just that, because paused in MJF, he gets interrupted. It immediately is spitting fire time, right? And this time he gets interrupted. Daniel Garcia accepts it. Will and him give a stare down. Will leaves. And then Daniel's going to accept the match at Wembley, and MJF cuts him off and says, "You have more important things. Focus on your match next week. Good luck." And walks out slowly, right? So they're definitely, this seed has been firmly planted, right? That plan is in place. Now, we've seen them do 3 examples of long-term booking really well, I think, in the past. Right? I mean, like, really long-term booking. Like, they had the Hangman Page, Kenny Omega storyline, right? And they've had a couple others where they've done that really long booking, This feels like that. This feels like a Cody Rhodes finish the story-esque thing, right? Because I think that is the top of the card. You want to have MJF, Will Ospreay, but you're not ready for it. Thematically and with your people, you're not ready to put that on top of your card, right? You haven't built it, so they're going to start to build it. So we'll see.
We will see. We will see. All right. So moving on. Let's go to the first match. I mean, it wasn't a match, but it was a match. If you know what I'm saying? Like, the way it ended. Blackpool Combat Club going up against LIJ, Shingo Takagi, Titan, and Hiromu Takahashi. I just love all 3 of those guys, but the most important thing out of this whole thing was I finally got to see Tetsuya Naito on Dynamite. First time ever. And the fanboy in me went nuts. Homeboy's looking a little long on the tooth, but it's still Tetsuya Naito.
He's got some years under him. I also love how you won't say Los Ingobernables de Japon.
No, LIJ. LIJ. Lige. That's what you get out of me.
You'll sit here and like plow through Japanese names left and right, but anytime there's a Spanish name, you're like, nope.
I ain't got it. Hey, brother, that doesn't work for me.
Oh God.
And so, what do you think of the NATO?
The NATO part was cool. I mean, the match was fine, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the match, to be honest with you. I think that almost all, I think all the matches tonight were great. And it was, again, there was not any real consequences with this match, and it was good, but the NATO was the bit. And I agree with you. A little long in the tooth. He's got some years on him there. You all right?
Yeah, I kicked the cable on my webcam.
I was like, did you guys get a cat when you were gone? What the hell happened?
I sure hope not.
Oh, that'd
need
be
more
terrible.
animals around this place.
I have a cat roaming around here. At some point will attack me, so I gotta be prepared for that.
But yeah, this match was like the most go home show ass match of all time, and I mean that in a great way. Like,
yeah,
here's some guys you'll see this weekend. Well, not all of them. Like, we don't have Claudio on this card, unfortunately, but it was just here's a fun little exhibition. We're gonna have a little schmoz, and then just a nice stare down, kind of beat down thing at the end. Send you into Sunday. It was great.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, so how about we talk about a match that did end, and this match was, what's the word I'm looking for? Magnifique. Yes. Ray Phoenix versus Jay White in the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament quarterfinal match.
You know what I'm going to say, so I'll just.
Well, yeah, you go for it.
I'll just get it out of the way, because this is poured to my eyeballs, Jay White returning with 10 abs, not 8 this time, right? He had to take extra time in the gym. According to Juice Robinson, he's coming back with 10 abs. So, yeah, Jay White, Ray Phoenix, they kick everybody out from ringside so we can have just fantastic wrestling. God, I love this so much. It's just, Jay White's so damn good. Ray Phoenix is not human. I love it. Love every second of it. That's it.
I don't think there's much more to say about this match than that. It was phenomenal. It was the kind of wrestling you only get on TV on Wednesday nights.
Absolutely, Dro. Jay White is underrated. Well said, and welcome to the show. Yeah, dude, like we're Jay White stands here, and to find out that he did not have 39 and a half abs and only has 8 was a little bit disappointing to me.
10 now.
10 now. Okay. All right, but dude, he's phenomenal. He's good on the stick, and yeah, just Jay White. Even though I know he's not going to win this thing, it's just great to see him rack up some dubs here.
What are your thoughts on the whole Christian angle, though? Because Christian and the patriarchy come out because they're obviously vying for the trios titles, and they have a big old stare down and everything. I mean, it's like versus like here, right?
I thought it was a good touch because I noticed when they came out, Bang Bang Gang's getting cheered. Even though they turned on the Acclaimed and became heels a pay-per-view cycle ago. They're just too cool and fun to really hate.
Bullet Club never gets hated. It's always people still
throw
like
some
them.
people that you really enjoy booing out against them, which the patriarchy is. Everyone loves booing Christian and the patriarchy. Even though they love them at the same time. Like they still actually get booed. I'm looking forward to this trios match when it does happen. I don't know. They didn't announce that for Sunday?
They didn't announce it, as far as I know. Jamie, did you see anything?
No, they did not. They have not.
They filled out the rest of the card pretty full, but I don't know. This to me sounds like a perfect thing to do on a post pay-per-view collision or whatever.
You could do that on any Dynamite and have that be your main event. And it would be a good week of TV.
Or a collision, because they want to boost collision ratings. Now that NHL and NBA playoffs are done. Sorry for your picks losing, man. They almost came all the way back, dude. I tell you what.
Hey, man, they made a series out of it. I only picked them because the Blackhawks were not going anywhere near the Cup this year.
That's right.
Good run for the Edmonton Oilers. I wanted to see a Canadian team finally win a Stanley Cup. I feel like
been a minute.
30 years.
Hey, you know what? Tits out for the Oilers. That's all I got to say.
The last time a Canadian team won the Cup, Taz was letting people survive in the ring. That long. That's a callback, folks.
Oh, shit.
But all right. Hey, tip of the cap to the Oilers. They made a series out of it. And good job for them.
Fantastic series, if you like hockey. Fantastic series.
So, okay. Matthew and Nicholas.
They apparently have the wild card pick.
And I know who it is.
All right. Start, because I'm just like, there's only one name I have in my head, naturally. So you go first. Who we got?
Okay. So it's been reported by Sean Rossap at Fightful as well. So I actually get to source something here.
Ooh.
That a certain Adam Hangman Page is getting close to returning, and they are planning on bringing him back still in his heel persona. Perfect place for his heel persona to be would be with the Elite, and he would be the wild card that is entered in.
Interesting. Okay.
That is likely what's going to happen. I would find that a little underwhelming because it's a little too obvious. I would love to see Hanger back at any point in time. Not sad about Hanger returning.
I mean, Okada's obvious. That's why I thought that it's Okada. It's got to be Okada, right?
Shut up, bitch.
I don't think so.
He's so good with this bitch.
It's great.
They've got Okada he's the Continental Champion.
Oh,
and
I'm
they've
with
also,
you. Yeah.
Like, not that, because I mean, Ospreay's the International Champion and he's about to wrestle.
Exactly.
It's not that they couldn't have Okada enter as the Continental Champion. It just doesn't seem like they're pushing Okada anywhere near the title, which is good. Kind of like we were saying about MJF is like, keep him away from that as long as you can, so you have that card to play later, and you can still do plenty of other stuff with Okada between now and then.
All right. So what do you think?
Once, I think most likely, if I had to bet on it, I would say it's going to be Hangman. I originally thought that Ospreay was going to lose on Sunday and that he would enter the Owen, win his way back to go challenge for the title at Wembley. It does not seem like that's going to happen. But, and this is a lower odds chance of happening, what I would like to see is if Ospreay's winning the title on Sunday, which seems very likely now, I would like to see Swerve be their wild card. Because Swerve, he kind of did, we'll talk about the finish of the show tonight where he kicked Ospreay in the head. He's kind of been leaning more towards that heel edge. What if he loses the title on Sunday and joins up with the Elite and the EVPs to get in the tournament and get back to Wembley to face Ospreay again?
I mean, we're talking very short memories because he's been dogging on the EVPs since he won the title.
They're setting up the Swerve, bro. Literally and figuratively.
I like that. I also
he's
like
been a baby face. And as soon as you turn heel, like everything you used to say no longer matters because you're a piece of shit that goes back on your word.
Well, but it's also is he turning heel or is this match? Because again, in this match, you got two baby faces, your two biggest baby faces, some would argue, right? Going up against each other. You know? This isn't Hogan versus, Warrior in WrestleMania 6, it's a different world, where there has to be some friction in there. It can't just be best versus best and we'll see who's better, right? So they got to make it, at least for the match itself. Counterpoint, Hangman's fantastic. I didn't even, for some reason, that never even came to my brain. I just figured he was still sidelined. So that's great to hear, Jamie. But how about this? It is Hangman. Heyman comes back because he was going in that heel route anyway at the end of before he left for his sabbatical, end of his whole thing with Swerve Strickland. Oh, look who could win on Sunday, Swerve Strickland. And then we have Swerve Hangman, the final chapter for now, right, in Wembley.
It's like Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and there's still like 7 after that. Perfect.
I would be completely down for that. I think the more obvious way this plays out is probably where they're going, where we get Ospreay and Danielson in Wembley, which I wouldn't be sad about, but I would like a lot of these other options instead. But yeah, I don't know when his contract is up or when he's showing up, but what if the Elite's wild card is Ricochet?
That would be wild.
I don't think the timelines work out for it, but that would be super dope.
If Ricochet comes over, I want to see Ricochet Ospreay in Wembley if he's here before that.
I mean, anytime I get to see a rematch of those two going at it,
we're all in nostalgia world, going back to the Super J. Just like, give me that match again.
So good.
But
so good.
It's a good thing that there are multiple options for how all this can play out, and there are multiple good options as well. Like none of these results would be disappointing in the slightest.
You guys let us know in chat if you're watching this on the replay. Hit us up in the comments down below, or you can always hit us up on Total Spotfest. Let us know what your prediction, your think is. Like, do you like the Swerve winning, and then you have the Hangman angle for All In? Do you like, Swerve losing the title, coming in as the wild card, swerving back to heel in the tournament? Give us your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Or something we haven't even mentioned, please.
Well, the EVPs weren't done yet, gentlemen.
Oh, they're never done. They're busy men.
Them and the Acclaimed, getting after it, a little bit there, and setting up a match at Forbidden Door.
I like the Acclaimed being a little more serious. Okay.
Same.
I think it's good, right? They're still funny. They're still super over, but you're also wrestlers. And if you want to be champions, I appreciate that, right? But it's not going to be daddy ass in that match. Oh, no. Because thankfully, he knows a lot of people. People in high places, people in low places, even a president or two. The president of New Japan Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Hey, good job.
I can say
Said that.
the big names. I can say those.
The easier ones.
Yeah, the most notable ones. I can say no problem. I just throw them out. It's going to be, what did they call it? What did he call it? He called it
Scissor Ace.
Scissor Ace, because it's all ace themed with him. Just like everything's scissor thing. It's perfect. A match made in wrestling heaven, right? Tanahashi and Acclaim versus the Elite. And I love the way that Tanahashi's promo, Austin, was 1,000% directed at my old friend Okada.
Yeah, this was good, and I'm looking forward to the match. But this is another one of those things that, like, it's just because we're doing Forbidden Door, let's throw a New Japan guy in this match that is basically set up just to be AEW folks wrestling each other because they have Okada now. Again, not sad about it, but just Forbidden Door is getting a little repetitive. Speaking of this segment, though, if I were the president of pro wrestling, I would issue an executive order that from here on out, the only wrestler that's allowed to use the word bitch on TV is Okada.
100%.
Because it's funny when he does it. It's sad when every other wrestler, and it seems like every other wrestler these days, like that's not to rag on WWE, but like that's kind of their thing now is like they use the word bitch nonstop on TV, and it's just not cool anymore because you just do it all the time.
Well, and plus the way it's like done, bleeding. And it's always like the slow pause. You bitch.
Yeah, like that's been normalized on cable TV for long. It's not like the South Park episode where they said shit for the first time. It was a big
that
deal.
was amazing.
Yeah.
They were allowed. Well, they were allowed. What was it, Jamie? They were allowed like 6 is what the FCC allowed them. So they decided to do like 35 or whatever it was. And then the counter.
Ding, 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 ding.
But yeah, bitch has just been so overdone, except for when Okada says it because it's always funny.
It's so funny. It's so great.
You know what's always funny too?
Mark Briscoe. God damn. What did you think of you weren't here for this, okay? When we talked about the original. Were you still I think you were on vacation. When we talked about the original conglomeration promo where Mark Briscoe took it over at the end and then just ran wild. What did you think about that?
I wasn't here to talk about it, but I sure saw it.
Oh.
And it was great. I was actually watching that and talking to the wife, Miss Heidi Howitzer, about how Mark Briscoe's promos are such a throwback to old school pro wrestling.
Yes!
Like he just super hyped, kind of yelling, but not screaming about everything. The other thing I loved about this one tonight is how much Kyle O'Reilly is matching that energy.
Oh.
And he seems infinitely more interesting just trying to be Mark Briscoe.
I mean, Kyle O'Reilly was always the extra guy in everything, pretty much, right? Undisputed Era. I don't know. But the best Kyle O'Reilly they did is, remember when they did the whole shtick with, was it Roddy, who had gotten kidnapped by Dexter Loomis? And so they had the psychiatrist they were taking it to, and it was actually Kyle O'Reilly the whole time. And he was genuinely funny, and it was actually like, oh my God, this man has a personality. Who knew, right? He mimics Mark Briscoe, and then in the middle of it stops and says, is this even working? And then he goes right back into mimicking him more. And it's just like, yes, you can be an actual character. Good for you.
Yeah. That's the most interesting Kyle O'Reilly's ever been. I mean, his matches are great. He's very good in the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should just try to be Mark Briscoe more often. They should just, you know who they need to put Mark Briscoe with? Mercedes Moné.
Oh.
Like maybe she can learn to cut a promo by hanging out with Mark Briscoe.
I'm in. Like, let's make that a thing.
Whatever happened to
Coming up in the rundown sometime soon, but we'll get to that in due time.
Side note, whatever happened to the random walk by promos? Y'all remember? For years, WWE always did this. We would just be walking by, and it means absolutely nothing. People that and they have like some weird interaction between them behind in the back of this. Whatever happened to those? Right?
I would like to see more backstage segments and promos that they can be very short because they're not going to lead to anything. But give me random people on your show just running into each other. You all work at the same place. Like, you're going to have conversations. Like, give me just random people running at each other backstage. Like, more of that, please.
Like Mercedes is walking in. They have a camera showing her arriving in her limo or whatever. Gets out, strutting, doing the dance and everything. And she comes up, and then Mark Briscoe's coming across, bumps in there, and oh, Mercedes, like he's looking for like something totally random, right? And have him just like spend like 30 seconds spitting weird Mark Briscoe-ness at Mercedes Moné. How funny would that be? Exactly, right?
I just want a random segment every week where Mark Briscoe runs into someone different backstage and just kind of yell promos at them for 30 seconds and disappears into the night like Batman.
He's
That's
not the
show
hero
I want to see.
He's not the hero we deserve. He's the hero we need.
He is AEW's White Knight.
Yeah, there you go. So right after this, you had the women's match of the night. But I don't know if you saw this. They are confirmed 2 women's matches for Collision, and there is talks that there is going to be a 3rd women's match on Collision. How about that, ladies and gentlemen?
About time.
What are the 2 that are announced so far? I didn't catch those.
They are for one's for the Owen Hart.
One is I think it's Saraya and Mariah.
I know Saraya Mariah's in the Owen. Is that the one on Saturday?
Yeah. For Collision. Yeah, that's the first one. What's the other match, Jamie?
I just had it.
Stephanie Vaquer has a match.
Oh yeah, Stephanie Vaquer's got a warm-up match. Touche.
Because that was during the Mercedes promo, as she mentioned that she had a match on Saturday.
And Sheeta has a match for her Owen Hart.
Oh, she got her own match as well.
Yeah, she's back on Collision.
I miss Sheeta.
And then they tease something between Riho and Serena Deeb.
Look at them
Sheeta and Riho. What a time to be alive.
You got Austin's attention real fast there.
Riho should be the Elite's wild card pick. And Riho should win the men's Owen and wrestle Ospreay at Wembley.
Come out with her giant pipe, just
yeah. She just brains Ospreay and pins him in 30 seconds.
Can you play with Riho with her giant pipe in Fight Forever, Jamie?
No.
Trash game.
So, just so you know, 41 minutes ago, the CEO, Mercedes Moné, was sitting front row watching Stephanie Vaquer going up against the Ice Princess herself.
Lady Frost?
Lady Frost, thank you.
That's usually who they trot out to put over someone they're bringing in.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad position to have.
It's either her or Trish Adora. But any woman who's like regularly on ROH gets they get an AEW thing when they need to put somebody over.
Yeah, so it's Deonna Purrazzo versus Sheeta, Lady Frost versus Vaquer, and then the Professor Serena Deeb has an open challenge.
Okay, so they're not doing the Saraya match.
No.
Okay, I thought they said Saraya versus Mariah was that's probably going to be next week.
Yeah, they did say that was a first round Owen match, but I didn't know if they had announced when it was.
That's probably going to be
next Wednesday.
It's going to be next Wednesday. Deanna versus Sheeta, though. Give me that.
Here for that.
Give me that match.
Oh yeah, I think this happened while I was gone too. Did y'all see the Deanna and Thunder Rosa street fight with the run up the table, drop kick into the
we
trash
talked
can?
about that.
Super dope.
Because it's like men are too we're too fat, we're too big to we weigh too much to be able to do that. But Thunder Rosa's not. Sets up a table as a ramp in the ring to run up and do. It's like I don't think of all the spots, I don't think I've ever seen that spot with a table done.
There is something about women's hardcore matches in AEW where they always slap.
Mm-hmm.
Sky Blue's best matches have been her hardcore matches.
Yeah, like even the second street fight that had Anna Jay in it, which was not near as good as the first one.
Yeah,
was still not as good as that first one. Like when the barbed wire wrapped around the arm, like that one was like
that was like the New Year's Eve one. Yeah,
yeah. It was not near as good as that one. It was still really, really good. To your point, like
I mean, they're fantastic.
They don't miss on the women's hardcore.
I mean, that's how Rosa won the title. Rosa made her stake was against Britt Baker, and honestly, if the network was probably a little cooler with it. I mean, you almost could do like the women's hardcore division, because they have so many women who are down for it and so many women who are good at it. But man, that match fucked, dude. It was so good, Austin.
Next June 2025, scrap Forbidden Door. Let's get AEW Women's Extreme Rules. And it's just women's hardcore matches with different gimmicks all night.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm in. Well, anyway, back to the women's match. Mina Shirakawa, Toni Storm, Mariah May defeated Saraya, Harley Cameron, and Anna Jay. Mina hit her Mina driver, which, yep, I'm a fan.
Jamie Likey. A little celebration after, and then, a
miss.
A swing and a miss. And then, of course, so Mariah's still trying to play both sides, gives them both champagne, they drink it, and then, Mina goes to get the bottle to go hit Toni and hits Mariah. Poor Mariah, who sells the ever-living fuck out of getting hit by a fake bottle. She's so good. And Toni at her best now. I mean, she's a fantastic wrestler. One of the best in the world. But my God, her doing the oversell of, my fallen compatriot. Oh, my God. That's TV gold right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I just wish they would have gotten a little physicality before it got broken up.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little awkward that, because you could tell the refs were, I don't know if they were necessarily late or just wasn't all timed right, but there was a little bit of just kind of staring at each other, waiting for refs to get in between. I wish they would have started throwing hands at each other just for a few seconds before they got separated, just to kind of build that little extra heat and tension rolling into the pay-per-view.
Or some little shovey pushy hold, something.
Like a shoe. At minimum.
A shoe.
At minimum.
She's a shoe.
So we already talked about Mercedes Moné.
There was a Luther shoe at her. Sorry.
So right after they had a Mercedes Moné package about talking about Vacker and whatever.
But then they do a promo of her, and it's the good kind of promo, because it was like pre-recorded, backstage, very on point and short and just fine.
He cut a promo like Triple H.
It was super fetty.
Every sentence.
It was super fetty, 100%. Until they pull that Band-Aid off and make her the full heel, we're gonna have to put up with this, and this is just the world we live in, gentlemen. Sorry. I still have faith though, because when we get that, that's gonna be so good. Oh,
and then
because she doesn't know how to cut a babyface promo or be a babyface.
No, and this promo she even cut, it wasn't a babyface promo. It was a hard tweener promo, right?
And hard tweener promos don't work.
No,
it doesn't leave you feeling any kind of way about her outside of please stop talking on my TV unless you're standing next to Mark Briscoe. Then you can say anything you want because it'll be better.
100%. You know what though? You know what was good after this? The learning tree time, guys.
God.
Hi guys.
I love the fact that Jamie segues into this by saying what was good was the learning tree. It's so good to see you come full. Yes.
This, I mean, the segment as a whole, but the swerve they laid out was just such good pro wrestling TV booking.
Oh.
Because I even saw people on Twitter the other day talking about how Forbidden Door was just looking like kind of everything else, which it is. And they were like, they're probably going to throw Suzuki out there with Jericho's team to face Joe Hook and Shibata. And never sad about seeing Minoru Suzuki, but we've kind of seen that done before. This was unexpected in the best way possible. And I loved every second of this.
So take it back to Saturday night, which is where, I don't know, did Brian Keith, is he kayfabe injured or shoot injured?
I don't believe he's shoot injured.
Okay. So they did
because he got physical during the little brawl at the end of the segment.
Okay. So they do this thing and they come out after their match they're beating up Joe, Shibata, and Hook come out and attack the learning tree, and they do like the standing stomp on your curled up arm, right? So he's out in his arm in a sling. And so they got to find someone to fill in. And then, Jamie, there was a video that was aired.
There absolutely was. Minoru Suzuki hops up on the screen. They're like, "Oh, Minoru Suzuki,"
which Jericho didn't even open yet, by the way, because he wanted.
He hasn't looked at it or anything. He wanted to see it with all of his branches, which I thought was absolutely great. And then he opens it, and what is it? Yeah, it's Minoru Suzuki challenging for the FTW Championship next Wednesday. It's like, let's go. And then here comes Joe.
In the most Minoru Suzuki way, too. It was so good.
Joe coming out and just like throwing shade was, I mean, that's just great.
It's so good.
TV.
I also like Jericho's line about, "I'm just here for the young guys," after that quote that came out from Cody Rhodes about that's the biggest red flag is the vet that says they're just there for the young guys.
I mean, it's not only the most on point, it's also the smartest work Jericho's probably ever done, is this learning tree, when you really look at it. It's fantastic. Oh, I can't believe we're saying that, because 6 months ago we were ready to bury this man's career.
Yo, 100%.
Deservedly so as well.
It was bad. It was bad. It gotten really bad, but my God.
I still think the highlight of every learning tree segment is still Big Bill. Big Bill is so damn good at what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He works with the sensei of the sickos, man. Like, come on now.
This guy knows what I'm saying. He always does that whole thing, too, which I love.
This guy knows what I'm talking about.
This guy knows what I'm talking about, right?
Like he gets it. He knows how to be entertaining in a pro wrestling sense, and I'm so glad they got away from him just being the giant heater to whoever he's attached to at the time.
Right. Well,
like they're letting him be entertaining.
His most popular he's ever been was with the Enzo and Cass bit, which I'm not going to lie. I loved Enzo and Cass. Some people think that that's taboo, Okay, both of them have done things in the past. They have had trouble. Okay, both of them have moved on. So we should do the same thing and remember that, like, of all the NXT call-ups, that was one of the loudest received ones there was. People loved the fuck out of it, and it was good. And he had character, and there's the shtick New Yorker guy. But ever since then, you're right. He's just been the big, tough guy, which does him no real service, because that's Jamie Braun Strowman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and especially when he's as entertaining as he is. Like, let that come out, because that's
exactly.
good TV.
Excellent TV. And then, what's to add on to that, though? I know you loved the Big Bill and what he did, because he did do great. But he got outshined by an iPhone.
Shibata
This guy sucks.
Who would have thought that Google Translate on Shibata's iPhone would actually work as a gimmick? My God, it's glorious.
I didn't have it on my bingo card, but I'm so glad I'm here for it.
It's so good. It is so simple. It's just like, and they give you just a little bit. It's not. It's. I love it when he does it with Renee. You know, he does the interview with Renee. He's got several things lined up, right? Oh.
Anything?
No, like I don't know what else
he's
to say.
just
about
soaking
that
in because it is so good. All right.
So, gentlemen,
We had Jamie's
without
hard-on portion of the evening coming up here.
Without any surprise, this is my match of the night.
Shock.
And hey, they had Gabe Kidd watching, which I thought was really cool.
Was interesting, kind of random but cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited at that. And yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kyle O'Reilly in a technical masterpiece. Now, like I said before, I went on record, and I will stay on this record. Zack Sabre Jr. is the best technical wrestler today. Not ever, but right now, he is the best technical wrestler. No slight to Bryan Danielson at all, but he's really damn good. And you know who's also probably in the top 5? One Mr. Cool Kyle O'Reilly. And good God, this match. So good. And you know how he won? Oh,
move number 4.
Unless Taz is calling the match, then it's a Juji Gatame. That has always annoyed me, and for no rational reason. Like, it just always seems so lame that he refuses to ever just call it an armbar. Like, cool, bro. You know, like the Japanese name for it. Don't care. It's
do you think the same way with the Tope Suicida?
I'm actually good with that because. Actually, for no rational reason either. I'm okay with that. It's just as always calling the armbar a Juji.
I like the Tope.
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, go ahead.
He sounds like that guy that has a hobby and like judo that is just like so into it that he's going to correct you on everything. That's how it comes across. And for some reason, Tope Suicida, it doesn't come off like that. Maybe it's just because Tope Suicida sounds like even cooler than Suicide Dive. But for whatever reason, every time he calls it a Juji Gatame, I'm just like, just call it a fucking armbar, dude.
I like the Tope Suicida because through the ropes it's a Suicida, and if you go over the ropes, technically it's a Tope Con Hilo. Right?
Well, you got to flip for the Con Hilo.
Exactly. So there's actually a explanation for why there's a difference in them, where it's just like, oh, it's a dive to the outside, right? Sounds better.
And plus, with his New York accent, it is kind of a little annoying. Like, Fujiwara Amba, you know, it's like, come on, man. It's the Amba, you know.
It's the Amba. Hey, you go to the bar? Which bar? The Amba. Wow, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I don't do
Northeast. Listen to us, like totally.
My apologies.
Your accent. I apologize, but we're just making fun of Taz and not you. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
Remember, I can make fun. I can pretty much massacre any accent except for Southern because I got just enough Southern in me that I can make that work. But everything else, bad. Sorry.
Oh, dude, I can actually do some solid voices.
Well, I can do a Canadian. Well, half my family is like basically Canadian. They live in North Dakota. That's South Canada.
So after this, you had the little stare down between Sabre and Orange Cassidy because after Orange Cassidy was checking on Kyle, and then here comes the Kingdom, and then here comes all of Sabre's buddies, and they're doing this standoff, and then here comes out. Speak of, like we talked about, Tomohiro Ishii. And he stands right by Cassidy, looking right at those guys. So there you go. He's coming to Forbidden Door in some way, shape, or form, as we know.
Check. Move on.
Well, so I don't know if he's doing anything at Forbidden Door, but he is on Collision.
He is on Collision.
Because it's him and Orange Cassidy against TMDK. That being said, while I'm never sad about seeing Ishii show up on my TV, I was very annoyed during the end of this segment for one reason. Excalibur kept going, it looks like Orange Cassidy still has some friends around. Mark Briscoe was in the building earlier that night. He is part of the conglomerate. He is there in the arena. We all know it because we saw his promo. Where was Mark Briscoe? And where was everyone else in the TNT ladder match tonight? That was the one miss of this go home, is they paid no mind to what might be one of the dopest matches on the show.
We still don't know the sixth person yet either, because we've got 5 entrants. Leo Rush stamped his ticket on Saturday. Thank you, Tony Khan. God damn, thank you. But we still don't know who the 6th person is, and I think that's going to be a Showtime surprise. Maybe Ricochet. Oh,
he's got the 90-day no compete.
Oh, he's on 90-day. Okay, never mind.
What if the 6th man is Hanger?
That'd be sick.
That'd be pretty
he
dope.
Comes out and wins the TNT title.
Well, no, because it's Jack Perry.
It's Jack Perry. It's Jack Perry.
That's the thing. It's Jack Perry's.
Jack Perry versus the field here, dude. Let's be real, right?
That's all the more reason to do it. Because everyone thinks Jack Perry's definitely winning that match.
So they keep talking about they're going to have the title. They actually have it with Hanger.
Maybe he doesn't join the Elite. I enjoyed the heel Hanger, but he's been gone long enough. He'll get a pop for returning.
Well, technically, he was not. He got suspended from the Elite along with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, all the more reason for him to come out and win that title that they wanted to give to Jungle Boy. I don't think this is happening at all. I'm just saying it would be cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It could be it could be damn near anybody. Everybody knows this. It could be Riho.
Yeah.
Fucking Riho.
Did y'all see they added a third women's match for 0 Hour?
No, what's the match?
On the show, but on 0 Hour.
That still counts for me. What was it?
It is Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano against Statlander and Momo Watanabe.
Tam?
Do what?
Tam Nakano.
Yeah. Not Bull. I wish it was Bull, but
Bull would be amazing. But
I'm cool with Tam.
Tam is
Bull. Did you see she was what 60 something or whatever? She still looks like she's in her 40s.
Dude, she still got it. She is just oh my god, doesn't age.
Yes,
I am for it, man. Absolutely, I love that. I love the fact that they're not just the pride. They're keeping that, and we know that's the kind of the storyline, right? Is the two of them. They're facing off in the semifinals in the Owen, but put them on the, even though it's the buy-in, right, or the pre-show 0 Hour, put them on the pay-per-view. Good.
And with AEW 0 Hour, more often than not, they're still good matches. That just it's extending your pay-per-view by 2 or 3 matches for time reasons.
It's really Tony Khan's way to get past his 4-hour rule. Right. And
it's great because most of your audience is going to tune in for 0 Hour. They're going to watch 5 hours of wrestling or whatever the entirety ends up being. But it's not like when and this, I keep bringing it up, but this is not just to knock WWE. But when they were doing the pre-show match for the longest time, they were always just dumb throwaway matches that got no time, weren't great, didn't mean anything. And it seems like 0 Hour, more often than not, there's still matches that you actually want to see with good talent.
Which is why we've always picked them on all of our pay-per-view picks. They count the same because we've always done it that way. That's why I am your champion.
Well, Austin, you missed last week's. Where I pulled a little swerve on JJ. It was absolutely perfect.
Yeah. You know how
it was.
You know how you know this too, right? Because when we get started to get going, I have OBS has what is being broadcast, so I have the starting screen. So I continue to talk to you guys while we're waiting to kind of start as we line up what we're going to talk about, all that stuff. I have our group chat, our group call going, and then I minimize that and then open up the OBS to switch over to the live scene. In the time it took me to take that and move it down, Jamie knows what I did, so he decided to get up out of his damn seat, and there was a usurper sitting there with my belt when I hit the live button.
It was gold. It was gold. And the thing was, Austin, I want to make sure you hear this, because this is probably the best part. Megan was very upset with JJ. Like, very, very upset. She was upset that he didn't call her on Sunday and wish her a happy Father's Day because she's his daddy. It was gold.
Fantastic.
So great to me. Like, it's still one of the best. I'm sorry. Like,
chat, do you see my plight here, chat? This is my. I have a permanent reminder of the trolling of this young woman. Okay.
Hey, she's got to get the most out of her last few weeks as champion before I win that belt back.
I'll take it. Wait, no, it's my belt. No, I'm the current champion. Fuck.
But it was off a pre-show.
Can we talk about the goddamn main event? Can we please move on? It doesn't matter. Pre-show's going to be great. Good for 3 women's matches.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, so the main event, ladies and gentlemen, was also very, very good and very well done. And that is Mr. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana going up against the old teammates of theirs, the Gates of Agony. And that's Taya Leona and
Bishop.
Bishop Khan. Yeah, Bishop Khan. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Bishop Khan coming out in the full Cambodian, was it Cambodia? Cameroon. The full Cameroon guard, ceremonial Cameroon guard get up to match Toa Leon's Samoan. I dig that presentation of them. I think that's just cool.
Right.
Okay. This is probably there's the cat.
I was gonna say something just flashed across Jamie's screen.
Oh, Jamie's got his laser going.
I got this little UV laser thing. UV light laser. I got it for my glasses because they're supposed to or my daughters, they're supposed to dull it. Mine don't. I didn't get the thing, but she did.
Anyway, yeah, so another typical trope here. Take your guys in the main event, put them in a match where they got to team up with each other, right?
Works out great every time.
Every time.
I thought it didn't work out too great this time. It wasn't bad, but it could have been better. You had it's Forbidden Door season. You're running right up into it. You had TMDK in the building, clearly. Granted, they were going to have a match on the Collision taping shortly after. Could we not have done Swerve and Ospreay against them instead? We've seen Gates of Agony lose time and time. They are not a threat. They're not taken seriously anymore because they've done nothing but lose. Them and Brian Cage. That's just what they do.
That's their role.
It just seemed and I understand the reasoning behind it. You want to put your 2 guys in the main event, tag them together and all that. That's fine. But tag them against another half of the match that's going to be more of an attraction. And I think them versus TMDK or them against any other New Japan guys you have that you want to throw into a team, would have just been a better end of the go-home show.
I'm with you. I mean, thematically, Gates of Agony technically works a little bit better for half of the team because it was, they said, it was Swerve's old client. Well, what does Ospreay give a shit about that? That's the whole point. Yeah. So I hear you on that. It didn't really matter who you put out there. The everybody was looking at Swerve and Ospreay, how they're going to break down. And the one-upping each other during the entrances was good. The end of the match was really good, the way they did it, and that he does the whole arm breaker thing on Bishop Khan and even winces Ospreay, who uses that same arm as his finisher. So good seeds they're putting out there. But I hear you. I understand what you mean. But I don't think there's a good answer for it either because it didn't really matter who they were fighting.
Yeah, and that's why you've got all this other talent that's just in town for your big co-branded pay-per-view that's coming up. Mm-hmm. Throw them out there against someone interesting.
You're not wrong.
Just so it's a little less mailed in. And again, this wasn't bad. It's just we've just seen Gates of Agony lose time and time again. Like, they are not a serious threat anymore.
Jamie?
When's the last time they were an actual serious threat? Like when it was Ring of Honor?
They were RH Trios champion with Brian Cage for a while. So there's that.
Sure.
Yeah, because they lost to the Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah. No, I agree. Where's like Evil and Dick Togo? Something. You have CMLL guys.
Perfect. Yeah, you could have brought out Hechicero, right?
Yeah.
He's got a match on Sunday.
Yeah. Do it. Like something. Like, I agree. Like, this match still was a good match and everything and all that, but it could have been so much better by showcasing talent that are coming through the forbidden door. Like, that's the whole point.
Unfortunately, it wasn't about that, though. It was about Swerve kicking Will Ospreay in the face the second the match was over.
Yeah, I would have liked them because they're doing on a Rampage. They're doing Gabe Kidd and Roddy against someone or other. I don't remember who the other team is, but you could have done Swerve and Ospreay against Gabe Kidd and Roddy.
Yeah,
Swerve and Ospreay have both had business with Roddy fairly recently, or put him in there against the Kingdom. A good jobber team for them to go out there and be like. There was just so many better options that this just seemed a little underwhelming.
I hear you. But again, it wasn't really about that.
Agreed.
It was about just the post match kind of steal the belt, get kicked in the face. See you on Sunday.
Agreed.
So you guys amped. I know we talked ad nauseum about how it's a little bit repetitive Sunday, but are you excited for the pay-per-view?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, still an AEW pay-per-view. It's still gonna fuck.
Yeah, it's still gonna be good. I would just like to see this concept either revamped or ended going forward from here. But when it comes to pay-per-views, AEW doesn't miss. The card stacked. It'll still be good.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to discredit this either. I mean, the first one was unique. It was something new and different. The second one took on that and improved it, and it was amazing. Right? It was pretty much the same thing, just a little bit better. And now you get the same thing the third time over. It's time for them. So it's like, okay. Hopefully now they'll be like, you know what? We had 3 good runs at this sort of thing. Let's mix up the concept a little bit. Let's shake it up a little.
Telling you, one night women's extreme match show next year.
Yes. The Kumite. I'm all for the
I
Kumite.
like the Kumite idea. I really do. I really like that.
I just want some guy to be like, okay, USA.
They bring out Jim Duggan.
Oh!
have Rob Van Dam in it, and then have Jean-Claude Van Damme be the master of ceremonies.
Dude.
And then do a fake dim mock with Rob Van Dam. Come on now.
Oh, we are fantasy booking our dicks off here, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday is Forbidden Door. We will have our picks in before the pay-per-view. We will see who prevails as champion, and we'll talk about that next week. Card is super loaded. We pretty much talked about most all the matches. They add on there, like I said, there's the trios match with the Elite. They added on there. Third women's match on the buy-in, which is fantastic. There'll be something else on the buy-in, I'm sure, right? And that's pretty full lineup. So bunch of great stuff. I'm most amped naturally for the ladder match, like I've already said, but you've got some all-out bangers on this match. Jon Moxley defending the IWGP title against Naito. You had an Owen Hart match with Bryan Danielson, Shingo Takagi.
The entire card right here.
Why don't you just go through the whole card? Because
Yeah, so of course you have Swerve, Ospreay, Moxley, Naito, Danielson, Takagi, Monet versus Vacker,
title for title.
Toni Storm, Shirakawa, Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., the ladder match, which we have Leo Rush, Dante Martin, Takeshita, Jack Perry, and the Mark Briscoe, and a person to be named later. And then we have a trios match of Hiroshi Tanahashi and the Acclaimed going up against the Elite. And then you have Hechicero versus MJF. And then on the 0 hour, that's confirmed, Willow Nightingale, Tam Nakano versus Chris Statlander and Watanabe.
So, pretty stacked card.
Dude, I know I'm gonna be I know I'm gonna be entertained.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
sure.
Well,
then we can move on to our regular scheduled programming with AEW.
Well, we got post door. There is the build for All In, but luckily they're doing because it's a 2-month period there, so they're doing the Owen Hart, as part of that build. So you have major story arc for both men and women for the next few weeks here before they really get hot and heavy booking for All In and then subsequently All Out. So we'll see.
I'm surprised with as long of a time as we have between Forbidden Door and All In that the field wasn't a little bit larger for the Owens.
I want to see that. I mean, they always do 8-person tournaments.
Yeah, do a 16.
Yeah. You've got the roster. First rounders, we could all figure out who's going to win and lose, but at least have the matches. It'd be entertaining as hell to see.
And it just puts some stakes on some matches you would have just booked on regular TV anyway. You've got 3 shows every week in 2 months to build to All In. Just give us one more round of the tournament would be nice. But I also just love tournaments, so it could just be me.
I mean, I'm right here on that one.
All right. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, about Dynamite, Forbidden Door? Anything at all?
See y'all Sunday. Can't wait to win my championship back.
Ooh.
Are you competing for a different championship? Because I'm winning this one. I'm winning my championship back.
Well, it is currently my championship, and I will officially have it after
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. I think Megan has proven that your title reign is irrelevant. Erroneous on all counts.
I hope she flunks something first semester, just to put her in her place. I don't even care. All right, well, join us next week, same bad time, same bad channel. We'll be giving you results of our picks. We'll talk about the pay-per-view a little bit, as well as the post pay-per-view show. We'll see where WWE's going with the Wyatt 6 Howdy thing and everything else going on. Side note. If you abandon like many of us did, self included, NXT years ago when it started to really suck after everybody good left, you should maybe look back into watching it again. NXT is actually pretty damn good. It's
pretty good right now.
It's pretty damn good. But we'll talk about all that and more. If this is your first time here, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to us on Spotify, please like, subscribe. Share it with your friends. Hit the little notification bell so you know when we go live. We will talk to you guys next week. Jamie, take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down until Spotfest, I got 5 words for you. Oh, brother. This guy sucks.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Peace.